Welcome, my amazing friends. I hope you all are doing well. Today, I want to share with you a story that is not just a story. It is a real-life movie filled with pain, hunger, failure, rejection, belief, hope, and finally, success. You are about to hear the true story of a man who was laughed at, rejected, and completely broken. A man who had nothing, no money, no food, no support. A man who had to sell his dog just to survive. But that same man wrote a story, held onto a dream, and changed the world. This is the story of Sylvester Stallone, the man behind Rocky, Rambo, and the message that inspired millions. It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. But wait. This video is not just about Stallone. It's about you, your dreams, your pain, your hunger, your belief. As you listen to his story, you will feel stronger. You will learn powerful life lessons. And most importantly, you will improve your English. Because every word, every sentence is made simple, emotional, and clear. Just for you. So grab your notebook, grab your heart, and get ready. This is not just a video. This is a wake-up call, a masterpiece of motivation. Let's begin. Part 1. Birth and Early Struggles. Sylvester Stallone was born on July 6, 1946, in New York City, USA. But even before he took his first breath, tragedy entered his life. During his birth, there were complications. The doctors had to use forceps, a medical tool, to pull him out. But the tool damaged a nerve in his face. As a result, his lower left face became paralyzed. His mouth drooped. He had slurred speech. He could barely smile properly. Imagine being a small child and having everyone laugh at the way you speak and look. That was Stallone's life. Kids made fun of him. Teachers ignored him. He couldn't speak clearly, and people called him stupid, slow, and even ugly. His father, Frank Stallone, was a hairdresser. His mother, Jackie Stallone, was an astrologer and promoter. But their marriage was full of fights, anger, and stress. Sylvester was just 9 years old when his parents divorced. After the divorce, he moved around from one school to another, more than 10 different schools. He wasn't good at studies. He was lonely. And worst of all, he felt unwanted. But even in that pain, he had one dream. He wanted to be famous. He wanted to be a hero. He watched movies, especially boxing films. He didn't just enjoy them, he felt them. He used to stand in front of a mirror and act like he was in a movie. At school, he started doing small plays. Even though his speech was not perfect, he gave it everything. He wanted the audience to feel something. But people didn't take him seriously. They laughed. Still, he didn't stop. He finally went to college. He joined the University of Miami and studied drama, the art of acting. He practiced every day. He learned how to act with emotion, with body language, with eyes. Because he knew his speech would never be perfect. He knew he had to find another way to stand out. After college, Stallone moved to New York City, the city of dreams. But life there was brutal. He was poor, jobless, and alone. He stayed in small apartments, sometimes slept at bus stations, and sometimes in a public library. He went to hundreds of auditions for movies, plays, commercials, but every time he walked in, they said, "You can't act. Your face looks weird. Your voice is too strange. No thanks." He was rejected again and again and again. It was like the world was saying, "Give up." But Stallone refused. There was a time when he had no money left. He couldn't afford food. He had only one friend left, his dog, Butkus. but he couldn't feed him anymore. With tears in his eyes, Stallone went to a liquor store and stood outside. He begged people to buy his dog. One man said, "Okay, I'll take him." Stallone sold Butkus for $40. He walked home and cried. He had just sold his best friend because the world had given him nothing. That was rock bottom. But Stallone still had one thing left: a dream. One night, he watched a boxing match between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner. Wepner was the underdog. Everyone thought he would lose in 3 rounds. But he kept fighting, bleeding, falling, getting up. Stallone felt something inside him. He rushed home and started writing. He wrote for 3 days straight without stopping. No sleep, no break. And after 72 hours, he had a script. He called it Rocky. It was a story of a poor, unknown boxer who gets one chance to fight the world champion. It was his life in disguise. Part 2. The man who became Rocky. Stallone was still hungry, broke, and lonely. He had just written the script of Rocky, and he believed in one thing: this story will change my life. But there was one big problem. He wanted to act as the main character, Rocky Balboa. But all the film studios said the same thing. "Your story is amazing. We will buy the script. We'll pay you $125,000, but you will not act in it." Stallone said, "No deal." The studios were shocked. He was poor. He had no food. He had no job. He had even sold his dog. And yet, he was saying no to $125,000. They offered him more money, $250,000, then $300,000. Still, Stallone refused. He said, "This story is about me. It's not just words. It's my blood, my tears, my life. I am Rocky." He chose his dream over money. Finally, one studio gave him a small chance. They said, "Okay, you can act in the film, but we will pay you only $35,000. The film will have a small budget, no big names, no big promotions. It's a risk." Stallone said, "Yes, let's do it." For him, it wasn't about money. It was about proving to the world that he could be a star. Now that he had some money, he did one thing first. He went back to the same liquor store where he had sold his dog. He stood there every day, hoping to see the man who took Butkus. After 3 days, he finally found him. Stallone said, "Please, I want my dog back. He's my best friend." The man said no. Stallone begged. The man finally said, "Okay, you want your dog back? Pay $15,000. Stallone had only $35,000 in total, but he didn't care. He gave the man the money and took Butkus back in his arms. He cried. He kissed him. He said, "We made it, buddy. And here's something beautiful." That same dog, Butkus, appears in the movie Rocky, his real dog, his real life, his real pain, all inside that film. Now the movie had started shooting, but things were very hard. The budget was low. They couldn't hire many actors. They had to film in cold streets and cheap locations. Stallone wore old clothes, used real meat in the freezer for training scenes, and sometimes had to run through garbage in the streets. But he didn't complain. "This is real," he said. "Let people see the truth." He trained every day. Boxing, running, lifting weights. He wanted to show the world, "I'm not just acting, I'm living this." There's a famous scene in Rocky, when Rocky runs up the steps of the Philadelphia Museum. It became one of the most famous scenes in movie history. But here's the truth. They didn't have money for cameras or crew. A friend held the camera while running behind him. Stallone ran up those steps. Once. No second take, no expensive equipment. That's the shot you see in the movie. Real, raw, powerful. Finally, Rocky was released in 1976. No one expected much. It was a small movie, made with very little money, with a lead actor no one knew. But then, something magical happened. People saw the movie and started crying. They stood up in theaters and clapped. They told their friends. Then their friends told others. And soon, the world fell in love with Rocky. In just a few weeks, Rocky became a global hit. It earned over $225 million at the box office from just $1 million budget. It was nominated for 10 Oscars. It won 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. And Stallone? He went from a nobody to a global star, a symbol of never giving up. One reporter asked him, "What do you feel right now, Sylvester? What's the lesson?" Stallone smiled and said, "If you believe in something, even if the whole world says no, you say yes to yourself. Don't stop fighting. Don't sell your soul for comfort. From sleeping in bus stations to winning an Oscar. From being rejected 1,000 times to becoming one of the most loved actors in the world. He didn't change his dream. He didn't change his face. He just refused to give up." Rocky made Sylvester Stallone a global star almost overnight. He had gone from sleeping in bus stations to walking red carpets, from selling his dog to hugging his Oscar statue. People were cheering for him. The world was finally listening. But life wasn't going to stay easy. After the success of Rocky, Stallone was everywhere. Magazine covers, TV interviews, big movie offers, parties with Hollywood stars. Everyone wanted a piece of him. But Stallone didn't let it slow him down. He immediately started working on Rocky II. He wrote it, directed it, acted in it. And once again, it was a hit. People loved the underdog boxer. But Stallone wasn't just an actor. He was becoming a symbol of strength, persistence, and hope. After Rocky, Stallone wanted to do something different. In 1982, he took a risk, a film called First Blood. This movie introduced the world to John Rambo, a soldier who was strong, silent, and full of pain. It was emotional, powerful, and action-packed. Rambo became an instant icon. The film showed PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder in soldiers, how war destroys minds, not just bodies, the loneliness of heroes. Stallone became unstoppable. During the late 1970s and throughout the 1980s, Stallone became one of the biggest stars in the world. He did Rocky II, Rocky III, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, Rocky IV, Cobra, Over the Top, Tango, and Cash, Lock Up. His body was stronger, his movies were bigger, and his fan base was global. He was rich, famous, and respected. But then, things started to change. In the early 1990s, Stallone's magic started to fade. Some of his movies didn't do well. Stop, or My Mom Will Shoot, Judge Dredd, The Specialist. People began saying, Stallone is finished. He's too old. His style doesn't work anymore. His movies stopped making money. His audience was shrinking. His body couldn't do the same action scenes. He was losing what made him special. And then, something even worse happened. In 1997, his son Sage Stallone acted with him in Rocky V. They played father and son on screen, just like in real life. But the movie didn't do well. Critics hated it. It hurt Stallone deeply. Then, in 2007, tragedy struck. His son Sage passed away at age 36 due to heart issues. Stallone was devastated. He didn't speak much about it. He just said, "There is no pain like losing your child. It changes everything inside you." His marriage also failed. He went through divorces, legal battles, and media attacks. Behind the strong muscles was a man who was breaking. In the 2000s, Hollywood changed. New stars came, new styles took over. People forgot about the old legends. For almost 10 years, Stallone didn't have a hit. He was mocked. Memes were made. Critics called him outdated. But what they didn't know was this: a real fighter doesn't stop when he loses. He stops when he's done. At age 60, Stallone did the unthinkable. He decided to return to the ring, not in real life, but in film. He made a new Rocky film called Rocky Balboa. Everyone said, "You're too old. This will be embarrassing. You'll ruin your legacy." But Stallone believed in one thing. Rocky is not about age. Rocky is about the fight inside. The movie released in 2006, and it shocked the world. People cried in theaters. Old fans returned. Young people discovered him again. It became a huge success. After Rocky Balboa, he made another bold move. He called all the action stars of the past: Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Bruce Willis, and created The Expendables. It was a celebration of old-school action. And guess what? It worked. The Expendables, 2010, was a big hit. Then came Part 2 and Part 3. Suddenly, Stallone was back. He wasn't just surviving. He was winning again. In 2015, something beautiful happened. A young director wanted to continue the Rocky story, but with a new hero: Adonis Creed, the son of Apollo Creed. Stallone agreed and became the mentor. He played the older Rocky, fighting cancer and loss, while guiding the new fighter. The movie was a masterpiece. Stallone was nominated for an Oscar, again. And once more, he showed the world: you can fall, you can break, but if you still get up, you're a champion. Part 3. The Legacy of a Fighter. By the time Creed became a global hit, Sylvester Stallone was no longer just an actor. He had become something much more: a symbol of strength, a mentor to millions, and a man who had survived everything: pain, poverty, fame, failure, and loss. But behind the muscles, movies, and motivational lines, there was still a human being, a man who had faced life and death, a man who had seen glory and grief. And now, it was time to understand who Stallone really is, beyond the screen. Sylvester Stallone has been married 3 times. His current wife is Jennifer Flavin, a former model. They got married in 1997, and together they have 3 daughters. 1. Sophia Stallone, smart, kind, and loves fashion and business. 2nd, Sistine Stallone, a model and actress working in Hollywood. 3. Scarlett Stallone. The youngest, funny, and energetic, loves sports. Stallone calls them his greatest treasures. He often says, "They are my world. I may have played heroes in movies, but they are the real heroes of my life." At home, he's not Rambo, not Rocky. He's just dad. He teaches his daughters about life, respect, and the importance of hard work. He often tells them, "Don't depend on fame. Build your strength from the inside." But even today, there is one part of Stallone's heart that will always remain broken. His first son, Sage Stallone, passed away in 2012. But he used that pain to become even stronger, to love deeper, to be a better father to his daughters, and to teach people that life is short, and we must live it with love and purpose. Stallone is not just a fighter in movies. He's a deep thinker. He often shares his beliefs, and they are powerful, simple, and real. Here are some of his most emotional thoughts. On pain. Pain is fuel. Use it. Don't waste it crying. Let it build your character. On rejection. I was rejected over 1,000 times. If I had listened to them, I wouldn't exist today. On success. Money comes, fame comes, but what stays is your spirit. Make sure that's strong. On fear. Everyone is scared, but courage means moving forward, even when you're shaking. On age. I'm over 75, but my heart is still in the ring. Life doesn't stop until you stop showing up. On family. Your family is your final home. Treat them better than you treat the world. These are not just quotes. They are life lessons, built from real suffering, real love, and real victory. His wealth and business empire. Today, Stallone is one of the richest and most respected men in Hollywood. His net worth is estimated at over $400 million. He owns several homes in California, Florida, and Europe. He has expensive art, watches, cars, including a custom-built Bugatti. He runs a business called Balboa Productions, a company that creates movies and TV shows. He has also launched health, fitness, and supplement brands. But the most beautiful thing? He never forgot the day he had $106 in his bank. He still keeps a photo of his dog Butkus as a reminder of where he came from. He once said, "I'm not rich because of money. I'm rich because I never sold my soul." Many people don't know this, but Stallone is also a painter. He started painting long before he became an actor, and now his artworks are shown in famous galleries across the world. His paintings are deep, emotional, abstract, full of pain and power. He says, "Sometimes I don't have words, so I paint what I feel." Through art, he expresses the darkness he hides, the joy he finds, and the peace he protects. He also spends time reading books, watching old movies, and writing poetry. Even at this age, Stallone is still working. Recently, he starred in Tulsa King, a crime drama TV show. He made new action films like Expendables 4. He appeared in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. He continues to train his body and never stops creating. Even now, in his late 70s, he wakes up early, works out, writes scripts, and pushes himself to be better every day. He says, "The fight never ends. It just changes shape." Let's stop and think. What did Sylvester Stallone really give to the world? More than just action, more than just movies. He gave us hope, strength, the belief that underdogs can win, a reminder that your past doesn't define your future. He showed us that, even if you're born with a broken face, you can still smile. Even if people laugh at your voice, your words can change lives. Even if the world says no, you can say yes to yourself. He is Rocky, he is Rambo, he is Stallone. But more than anything, he is one of us. A fighter, a dreamer, a survivor. Sylvester Stallone gave the world more than just entertainment. He gave the world a mirror that showed us something very important. No matter who you are, no matter how hard your life is, you can still fight. You can still win. But in this final part, we go even deeper. We now talk about his biggest impact, his messages to young people, the unforgettable moments from his life, and what we can learn from the man who never gave up. Rocky wasn't just a film, it was a movement. In countries all over the world, USA, India, Brazil, France, South Africa, Philippines, millions of people watched Rocky and said, "If he can do it, maybe I can too." Famous athletes, singers, actors, and even CEOs said that Rocky changed their lives. Footballers played Eye of the Tiger before matches. Boxers trained while watching his scenes. Teenagers in pain found hope in his words. Students who wanted to quit decided to try one more time. That's how powerful one story can be. And all of it came from a man who had been told, "You're not good enough." Stallone always believed in saying the truth, not with big words, but with honest emotion. Let's look at his most powerful messages. Things he said not in movies, but in real life. Every champion was once a beginner who refused to quit. Your body can be weak, your voice can be strange, but your heart must be unbreakable. There's a voice in your head that says, "You can't." And your job is to answer back, "Watch me. Don't wait to feel ready. Start before you're ready. Let pain build your power." He said these things not to show off. He said them because he lived them. He never forgot the night he cried after selling his dog. He never forgot the doors that were slammed in his face. He never forgot the feeling of being invisible. And that's why his words connect with everyone. Stallone always gives deep advice to the next generation. When young fans meet him, they often say, "I feel like giving up. Life is too hard. What should I do?" And he replies with calm eyes, "Good. That means you're alive. You're in the fight. Now keep going." He tells young people, "Don't compare yourself to others. Your fight is different. Your story is unique. So don't copy anyone. Just keep showing up." He teaches them that you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be famous. You just need to believe in one thing: yourself. In his late 70s now, Stallone sometimes talks about life and death. He says, "One day I'll be gone, but Rocky will stay. And if Rocky stays, that means hope stays." He doesn't fear death. He fears wasting life. He believes that you get one life, that's it. So make it loud, make it strong, make it count. He wants people to remember not his muscles, but his message. It's never too late. You're never too broken. And one good punch can still change everything. Let's ask one final question. What made Sylvester Stallone a legend? Was it his movies, his money, his fame? No. What made him a legend was this. He was rejected 1,000 times, but still believed in himself. He was laughed at for his voice, but used it to inspire millions. He was told he was too old, but made his biggest comeback at 60. He was called ugly, but showed the world what true beauty is. He turned pain into power, failure into fire, loneliness into legacy. That's what legends do. Here are the most powerful lessons from his life. 1. Never sell your dream. Even if they offer you money, even if they say, "Just change it a little." Don't do it. Your dream is not for sale. 2. Pain will come, but let it build you. Stallone didn't run from pain. He used it to write Rocky. He turned suffering into storytelling. 3. Your first punch might miss, but don't stop swinging. He failed again and again, but he never stopped trying. He knew the next punch could be the one that changes everything. 4. Your weakness can become your strength. His voice was strange. His face was wrong. But those became his identity. He used them. He owned them. He grew from them. 5. You don't need 100 people to believe in you. You just need one. You. If he had waited for approval, we would have no Rocky. But he approved of himself, and that changed the world. Imagine this: a man sitting alone in a dark theater, watching the first scene of Rocky. The music starts, the crowd cheers, and he smiles. That man is Stallone, and the voice in his heart says, I made it. I stayed in the ring, and I won, not because I was the best, but because I never left the fight. If you are watching this video right now, maybe you feel tired. Maybe life is hitting you hard. Maybe no one believes in you. Maybe your dream feels too far away. But let Stallone's story remind you. You don't need perfect English to speak powerfully. You don't need perfect looks to inspire. You don't need perfect life to win. You just need to refuse to quit. Because now, it's your story. What will you write? What will you fight for? What will you become? Stallone gave us his truth. Now it's time to live yours. If this story touched your heart, share it. Let the world see what real courage looks like. And most importantly, never stop learning. Never stop dreaming. Never stop speaking. Your English will grow. Your dreams will rise. And one day, they'll